Of course, Future Freaks Weekend did not disappoint. We're going to dive into that and a few other things here on the Sooner or Later Sports Show. That's Coop. I'm your boy Jay. Thanks for pulling up here on the YouTube channel and listening wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to while you're here. Please wipe your feet and like, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. You don't think you deserve it? Go ahead and give us 5 anyway and gift it. So, on today's episode of the Sooner or Later Sports Show, we've got a lot of great things to talk about, like Future Freaks Weekend. Plus, there was like 5 commitments. We're going to talk about each of those players and kind of understanding what they mean for us going forward. And we'll, of course, we'll wrap things up with whatever else is going on in the streets. So, yeah, it's been a great weekend. Coop, how's it going, my man?
Going good. Just spent my last 4 hours at the soccer field. So
outdoors.
Get to outdoors in the beautiful sun. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have a sunburn tomorrow because didn't plan that very well. But Jay, I'm just glad because man, you said it in the green room. Used to pray for days like this, and it has been a good weekend for the Sooners.
Sooners made the magic happen with Future Freaks Day. Yeah, I was out and about a little bit today. I got up this morning, did some laundry, prepping for another set of work travel, and which is my I travel every week this month, unfortunately now. But April I should be chilling, and I'm getting some stuff together. And I'm just like, dang. This actually happened. So Oklahoma hosted their Future Freak Weekend, like they always do. And from there, the Sooners went out and killed it. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 commitments so far, with 6 commitments in the last roughly 7 days? Yeah, 6 in the last 7 days, which includes the number 1 tight end via
5
rivals.
Days. 5 days.
Is it 5?
Is Witten
Was
Cooper was 3-3. So today is 3-8.
Yeah. So yeah, he was Tuesday, wasn't he?
Think so.
I'd have to go look, but
yes.
The point is,
Lots.
Oklahoma saw a big influx of players, commitments, and everything. So let's start off with that. We talked about it earlier. Or was it Thursday? The Future Freaks list. The list was long. A lot of players that we knew were going to come into town. A lot of players we were excited about. And as that went down, Oklahoma decided that they were going to go ahead and seal the deal with some players. Now, you had some crazy storm weather. People were wondering if people were going to be able to pull up and make it. I'm excited at the fact that this stuff closed. Oh, and Colin is headed to Norman. What's up, CK? Yes, safe travels to Norman. We appreciate you checking in because I know you were busy. The articles were everywhere. Non-stop. And we got to talk about the first one because I think this was the cornerstone of what Oklahoma was hoping to achieve this weekend, which is always getting your quarterback in line. It's March. Yeah. This is one of the later ones. I mean, I think Hawkins was like a February. Arnold was a January. Actually, Bo Bentley was June. So, yeah, you want to have something earlier part of the year to let them be able to continue their recruitment. Jamison Roberts gets you the commitment, the 2027 quarterback out of Mobile, Alabama. Good quarterback, one that we both love here and we appreciate here on this channel. In this home, we celebrate these players. Coop, we look at the first man. How'd you feel about this pickup and what this does for Oklahoma going forward?
So, I mean, you obviously had your eyes on Peyton Houston for the past couple of years. You know, that was the goal. He went ahead and went to LSU through everything. And, you go out and you had your eyes on several different others. And when they came up with Jamison Roberts, like that was one of the guys to where you look at some of the measurables and you're like, all right, you like it. You look at his production, stellar production. And I'm going to give some credit, a little shout out to our friend over at Sooner Scoop, Josh McQuiston. He made a comp that gets me really, really, really excited. And you got to think of this guy from a college standpoint, but his comp on Jamison is Geno Smith, the ex-West Virginia quarterback. And Geno messed around and had nearly 5,000 yards, his kind of his best season. So if you can get that from Jamison in the future, you'll take that every single day. You pair what the Brent Venables defense does with something like that. I mean, that ain't bad. And so this is a fast riser. I think 247 is the last one that has him as a 3-star, but everybody else has had him up as a 4-star right now.
Yep.
Guy out of Bama, again, 6'3", approaching the 190, hasn't even started the senior season yet. So you can't be too sad about this, because this is a hell of a pickup.
Yeah, I enjoy him as a quarterback, and watching the tape. Like, you can go back and watch the video I made on that one. He can play. He's the number 6 on ESPN's dual threat quarterbacks. Very, very. He's athletic. He's got a lot of wiggle. He gets out of problems in the pocket. He does everything you need. And he's also very tall, right? The picture of him standing next to Arbuckle. Arbuckle's a legit 6'4". He's actually a really tall dude. And he's right there, borderline neck and neck with them. So he is this all of 6'3". He's probably the tallest quarterback we've had since Landry Jones?
Gotta think so, yeah.
Because Caleb Williams was maybe 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
Hurts 6 foot, Baker 6 foot, Kyler 5'9.5", 5'10". Jackson Arnold 6 foot, 6'1" ish. Mateer 6'1" ish.
Blake Bell was probably, because he was after Landry, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was after Landry. So Blake Bell, and I think Cody Thomas. Cody Thomas was like 6'4". Blake Bell was 6'6".
How tall was Tanner Mordecai?
I want to say 6'2" max.
Let's look him up real quick, because it's 6'2" max. You're exactly right. He's 6'2". Who else? Trevor Knight.
No, he's 6'1", maybe.
Yeah, he's listed as 6'1". Yeah, so he would be the tallest since Blake Bell. Goodness. That's crazy to think about, that we haven't had tall quarterbacks.
Chandler Morris was 6 foot tall. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. We did have a commit for a while in who's now at Florida State. So, yeah, but
Jaden O'Neal, yeah.
So Jaden would have been the biggest one we had committed. But
we've had
regardless, I mean, yeah, big guy with some wiggle. He's a production guy. I mean, he has a lot, and you're going to have Bentley, in here now. So you'll watch this throughout the 26 high school season. See what he does this year, because everybody knows who he is now. It's not a surprise. And so be fun to kind of watch him go about his. I don't know about his tour schedule, if he's going to be doing Elite 11 and stuff like that yet. Mm-hmm. But he's going to continue to rise up the boards.
Yep, he spent his sophomore year behind KJ Lacey, the Texas quarterback. And when he took over, 72% completion percentage. I had some people in the comments talking about how his occasional sidearms are there. He completes just under 73% of his passes, 3,300 total yards, 37 touchdowns through the air. Then he ran for another 600 yards and 21 scores. I'm cool. If he's getting the ball to people at an accurate clip, we're good. And he's probably going to light it up again at Alabama. So now, as mentioned, what's good, Brinsky? See you in the comments. As mentioned, yes, Whit Neubauer also is a transfer. that was kind of my point. He transferred in at 6'6". I mean, recruit. Tallest recruit we've had in a while.
And I think that you're going to see more and more. I mean, so people bringing up the sidearm throws, like that's Patrick Mahomes' effect on high school football, college football, etc. All the different arm angles that's not a bad thing. It's just if it becomes a habit, and usually those types of things happen when you are panicky and you're rushed and you're just trying to get it out. So this is a bigger kid. You got to think about the Jay. I mean, probably 17 years old, if not barely 18. So he's probably still got some growth going to him too. So you were talking about 37 touchdowns in the air, 21 on the ground. Like, the kid moves around, and they're going to be a good team again this year. That's a decent team down there in Mobile. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, 100%. Now, OE trades. Yeah, my boy. No, there was more than you. There was a couple other folks that made mention that same thing. And like I said, it's okay. And you're right. It's a lot easier to do it in high school than college for some. It just depends on how talented you are. We'll just got to see what he looks like when he gets here in a year. But right now, you still got a few guys. You got Jet New, who actually is legitimate 6'2" as well. Him with Neubauer is another transfer. Like I said, he's 6'6". Bo 6'1". We'll see what it looks like there. But we'll stick here to Sweet Home Alabama because you bring in a second guy here, Jaylen Scott. Now, you knew that Scott was coming in, and this is my guy Brinsky's boy. Shout out to the sharpshooters. We went ahead and made them Bama Sooners come to town. Jaylen Scott comes in, another what? 4-star. Beast of an athlete. Fun to watch. I've heard a few different comps on him. One, I think I heard someone mention Peyton Bowen.
Yeah.
If you get that out of him, I think he hits harder. But if you get that out of him, you're winning. You're 100% winning because that's all you want. You want someone that's going to be athletic, productive, and you also want somebody who's going to hit somebody. And that's kind of like how our safeties are now built, right? You Boganowski, Powers, Man, and BV talked about that, which we have to touch on that maybe later on because we got a lot of players to cover. But Jaylen Scott hits people, and that's the fun thing about watching this game.
He hits people, and he's an athlete. He's that true center fielder. He's not afraid to come up and put a play on the ball, but then also at the same time, like, you're going to continue to make those decisions as a receiver. You catch the ball over the middle, tight end, ball over the middle, and he'll have some battles with another one of our commitments we'll talk about here in a few minutes, for the years to come. But this is one that you get, if you can get another Peyton Bowen type of safety. Brandon Hall just continues to run this. Jay, I just remember so many years ago wondering why couldn't we not just get a good safety. And now, like, you look at it, and it's every single time one of these guys commits, you just get more. It's an embarrassment of riches that Brandon Hall's putting together at the safety room. And this is a kid who's going to continue to go out there, and he's going to ball out. He's going to have a lot of people have him, have his ear and try to have conversations with him in the SEC. So this is one that we really, really wanted. And if you have not checked out, I think that there's a video out there from the university about the moment that it happened when he turned his chip in and committed, and just you got to see a lot of that. And you got to see a lot of the a lot of the recruiting notes across the boards talking about people were just jacked up, like when dudes were turning their chips in and committing, and the whole team's going crazy. You sitting at 19 commitments now. I mean, that's some years that's a full class, and they've still got more coming. But go watch Jaylen Scott, and you will get excited because that's the way the safety is supposed to be played. Yeah,
his game is there again. 4-star. He's a top 200 player in the country. He's one that 247 has him at like 119. Rivals at 249. ESPN has him at 198. But yeah. top 20 safety in the country. It's a big deal. Brandon Hall knows safeties. We've seen that out of him. Mm-hmm. He's one of the coaches. Well, it appears that we all have lost the ability to truly question any of our coaches on the defensive side right now, just because of how well they've done. They have locked in and made it happen. But like I said, I enjoy Scott's game just because he's very violent. Period. Need more players like that.
I think he's going to, get the bulk. He's going to continue to bulk up. I talked about it on Thursday. It's a guy that, you'll watch to see, is it going to be a true safety? Is he going to move more towards, Brent Venables is okay with playing three safeties on the field at the same time with the versatility that most of these guys have. So maybe in the future you look at a Jaylen Scott man safety room, and I like it. Makes me happy.
I'm satisfied with the fact that we had a whole weekend where we brought in 4 players on in one day. 5, including today, and then 6, like I said, in 5 days. This staff has been on the heater. And, of course, we're going to give flowers and stuff to them after we talk about the players. It's most important to really talk about who all is in here. All right, now we're going to transition to the O-line. We added another offensive lineman. And it's kind of funny because we're going to have to go through this entire class again soon. We're not even halfway through 2026. And like you said, we've got 19 commits. That's a lot if you really think about it. That's more than the competition right now. Like, only other team with double digits in the top 10 is Texas A&M, and they're at 10. Mm-hmm. This staff has basically said, we're going to lock down everybody we want. And see, top 25, top 30. Yeah, we're the only ones with more than 10 commits so far. I did not think that was true. That is a wow. In the top 50, we're the only one with more than 15. And yes, last year we did have only 18. Last year we also, I think they purposely took a small class. You gotta remember, negative recruiting against us, the bad year, all the injuries. I mean, we still finished with a top, what's that? Top 16? Let me see. 16th. Where did we finish? 16th, we were 15th on the composite side, 16th overall. Actually, we had 25 players that signed letter of intent. So we didn't have. We had 16 No. That's without transfers. 16 transfers, 25 letter of intent signed. It's 5, 10. Yeah. We brought in 25. But goodness, I didn't realize we actually closed out with 25. No.
25 is correct.
25. We had 25 from the 2026 class. 2025 class, I do think was smaller, though. Let me look. I'm getting it to load 247 right now. 18 was in 2025. That was the smaller class. That class was small. Yeah, the 2025 class was smaller. So not the current class last year, as in, yeah.
Fasusi's class.
Fasusi's class was only 18. Mm-hmm. Very small class, smaller than expected. But I think that was all negative recruiting. The season was bad, and in 26 we upped those numbers.
Yeah, and 25 also, I think we had a lot of guys at the let's see here, like Floyd Boucard, who had committed and then flipped over to USC. Yeah. You had the receiver, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, flipped to Nebraska. So, I mean, you had several.
Yeah. Cortez Mills.
And then you had two receivers with the same last name flipped to other places too. Because I think at one point we were looking at like 5 receivers. We ended up with 2. So, but this year, you're. I know of potentially 2 more that could pop from this weekend, and you still have other guys that you're in on. So, I mean, if you're sitting there at 19, maybe at 25, 26 people. And remember, we had, James, you're right, 85 Scullies that year, and now we're back up to the 105. So you're going to be willing to take some more guys, and you continue to load up. I mean, you have Markel Ford that just came in this past class at safety. Now you add a couple, you add another safety this week with Scott. And so you want to continue to go because, I mean, you got to understand you're going to play, you're going to get on the field. That transfer portal is still going to be pretty active. And so you want to make sure that you're stacking guys and it's good quality depth.
Yeah, you lose Wimberly as well as Hardy in the portal. So, Then bringing in Ford, and I think a few other players are probably going to end up transitioning into safety roles. You may see some Dakota Fields. You may see some Prince. I know J.J. Newcomb, even BV mentioned it. He's going to be playing a little bit of Cheetah. But, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's jump into another offensive player that shored up the line. Because, again, we're going to probably have to go back through all 19 players because I forgot that we already had 3. Just because so many was coming through so fast. Let's talk about that. Thank y'all for pulling up. Hit the like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars. Yeah, daylight saving time hit. I'm thrown off right now. I always forget and not sleep longer, but I digress.
Bro, I woke up to use the restroom about 1:50-ish. And, just checked my phone again, had some notifications still going in after I fell asleep. So I looked at my phone and got up, used the restroom, came and sat back down. And then I, looked at my phone again and it says 3:01. And I was like, what in the hell? And I had to Google it in the middle of the night. And I was like, what, is it time change? I forgot. I mean, I walked out and talked to Nicole in the morning. And I was like, hey, time change happened last night. And she's like, that makes more sense. So.
Yeah, true. That is a very good point. Tyson Ross, 3-star lineman out of Kansas. I like him. I like him as a prospect. He was an interesting pickup. I wondered if like we started seeing all the predictions coming in for him real quick. And I was like, all right, let me look this kid up. And I'm like, oh, okay. I recall the conversations around him. And after rewatching his tape, I was like, oh, okay, I like him. He's one I can work with. 100%. And like I said, I don't know if he's hit much of the camp circuit yet. So in time, we'll see, but I enjoyed the tape, and I think that Beaton Bow has an idea of how he wants to use him. So he comes in, like I said, Rivals and 247 both have him ranked. ESPN doesn't yet, but he's still, once he gets that ranking, I expect his numbers to go up again. But again, nice size. He's 6'3 and a half, 285, interior guy. What more else can you say? You add him with Luke Wilson, who was a very early commit that came out of nowhere. Then you got Cooper Hackett and Caden Penning. It feels like we're loading up on linemen this class because a lot of them's probably playing in 2028.
Yes, you only bring in one interior guy last year with Noah Best. So you get Tyson Ross. Brent Venables knows the coaches up there in Kansas, right? You're going to hear him always talk about, wanting to go back there, go through Kansas, number 5 player in Kansas. Like you said, I think that he's going to have a little bit more jumps. This is a guy, he's an interior guy. He is going to, he is a bull in a china shop. He is going to B, making a lot of people in the middle see the ground. I think he's a good pancake guy. He's got decently long arms too on top of that. So plays really, really wide. So I like him because, you made the comment with Luke Wilson, Caden Penny, Cooper Hackett. Hackett is an O tackle. Luke Wilson. That'd be a really, really big interior guy. So I think that he's more of a tackle. I think that Caden Penny can play anywhere. I think that he is he could be inside or outside. So you add another guy, you want to continue that quality depth because we need these offensive lines to have some depth, because you've seen over the past couple of years with guys, getting an ankle rolled up on. This past year we had, I think it was the South Carolina game that you literally had just, maybe even the Auburn game too. Like you were just every single, like Fabici Wewu was hurt. Michael Susi was hurt. Everybody was just dinged up, and guys are just out there just trying. Jake Michaela was hurt. So you want to have something to where you don't have to just put a guy out there on one wheel and say, hey man, give it your college best, because that's tough. You face a lot of good interior and outside edge guys in the SEC.
You do. And that's something you got to be good at. And I think Tyson, the good thing is having Penny and Hackett as your main guys, you got your foundational pieces. That's what's critical. Mm-hmm. That's what's most important. Then, from there, you just continue to add. And Ross is one of those additional pieces. You're going to need a lot of bodies. Not everybody's going to start. Some players are going to be developmental, the ones you're going to develop into something. But again, I think that this class is going to be bigger because Fasusi and Foje are sophomores this year. There'll be juniors in the 2027 class. And if they continue in that season, if they continue to develop the way they've been, that could possibly be their last year here. Like you could see them going out as true juniors, because there's been conversations about us having possibly 2 or 3 first-round defensive linemen in this upcoming NFL draft in the 2027 draft. So it's always a possibility, and I feel like they are preparing right now. That's what we're doing. So, but speaking of edges, speaking of protecting the edges, we did get another offensive player that had a feeling it was going to happen. I am going to be 100% honest. I'm still a little shocked that it actually went down. But we got to give some flowers out to a coach who literally just started not too long ago. Shout out to Jason Witten. Because Witten went out there, snatched up a player that, I was all excited. The number 1 tight end in the class, Seneca Driver.
Say it again.
4-star. Number one. Rivals number 1. He's number 3 on 247. Number 2 ESPN. He's a top 50 player in the country. Rivals has him at number 18. So technically on Rivals, once they all become seniors and they start dishing out the final 5 stars for the final 32, he should be listed as a 5-star. This man walked in and snatched this dude up immediately. And he's a huge human, 6'6", 240. So I remember when Witten first got the job, the first thing that one of the articles dropped was, that's who he called. Out in rural Kentucky. And then, of course, Ben Arbuckle went out there and saw him. He coached at Western Kentucky, so he knows the lay of the land. And initially, the predictions came in. The expectation was Oklahoma should end with them at the end. But, they're going to continue to battle with in-state, Kentucky, and all of that jazz. And then it was like, oh no, this may actually move faster. And then all of a sudden, I see a graphic fly out. That impressed me. Got to give kudos on that. He's good. Like the first tape I saw of him, Coop, was him playing edge. I had to go search for his actual tape as a tight end because he's out there abusing people as an edge. Kid is good. Real good.
He's a great athlete. I mean, that first and foremost, I will say that. But yeah, you said Jason Witten comes in, joins the staff. You start seeing him making calls to this guy, and you watch the tape, and he's a route running tight end first and foremost. I mean, he's got the physical capabilities. Most of his tape is of receiving, so obviously that gets everybody excited. But I don't remember watching tape and seeing somebody make so many contested catches, jumping up in the air. There we go. Get some good volume.
Right.
But it is an absolute. He jumps up in the middle and gets drilled by safeties. He's catching the ball and getting popped by 2 or 3 different guys at the same time. And again, McQuistion, I think,
look at that breaking tackles.
Yeah, he gave a Sam Laporta comparison.
Ooh,
so that's a first round draft pick. But you just watch this entire tape, and yes, it's every single highlight is oh wow, okay, oh wow, okay. Now, obviously, like there's not a lot of blocking tape on this portion. Here's him, lining up. Obviously, he just pushes a dude down to the ground, high points a ball. Like Weekend has tight ends too, Jay. And this is, I will say this: there's another one, him getting drilled, 4 or 5 guys, putting a body on him at one point. This one might be the one. No, he runs a post when he gets drilled. There's a high point. I mean, I remember years ago when we went out to Arizona and got a guy who a lot of people wanted, he was listed as a wide receiver. And when we offered him and he committed, we all knew that tight end was probably where he was going to end up. And that was Mark Andrews. And so when I watch his film, that's what I see. Now, Mark put on the weight and became a really, really good tight end. And obviously had a hell of a career in the NFL. But this is probably one of the most exciting recruits that I think I've seen in quite a long time. This might be the one where he gets stuck by the safety. Right there.
Takes a hit, makes the catch, and continues. That's the good thing, is that he hold on to the ball. Another high point touchdown. Ooh, can't beat that. He can play. That's all that matters. That's the most important thing. Is that, and then of course, as we know, as a top 50 player, you also add in the fact that Jason Witten's going to be his coach, so he wants to learn from Witten. Yeah, and that's the reason why you get excited. And Kim, I kind of understand you there, but I don't. Sure. I'll explain a little bit later why I'm on the complete opposite spectrum of what you're saying. We may have less, but others still have to fill up with a whole bunch of top 100 players. And ain't nobody doing that. We've also got other top 100 players on our list. Still we're very high on right now. We've got a lot. So we'll look at the full class a little bit later. No, Osborne has not committed. We didn't get a commitment from 2028 either. We got predictions. We haven't got any other commitments. The last commitment that we've gotten, which is this morning, we've got 4 commitments yesterday. So that was Seneca Driver. That was Jamison Roberts and Jaylen Scott, so your 2 Bama Sooners. And then Tyson Ross on the offensive line. You got predictions like crazy for Gus Kosser. You got it for Gabe Osborne. So the predictions are flying. We're just waiting to see if those come to fruition. They could. Doesn't mean they won't. We just got to wait and see if they actually show up. Last one is this athlete here that I like this pickup too. I'm a big fan of getting kids. Let me me pull this up.
Touching on it, yeah. Kim, while he's pulling that up, Kim, yeah, same thing. Is we can celebrate what you got right now, and that's we were just stating it is the number one class. Now, will Notre Dame and Texas A&M get more people? We know that Texas A&M, Texas Tech, two different recruiting philosophies. Texas Tech is willing to spend big money on some of the top end, and to break the paradigm. I think that they will struggle to pull enough of those guys. You go and you watch that playoff game, and as great as Texas Tech had a good season, a lot of people saw they were vastly mismatched once it came time to play in Oregon. And so we'll see what happens. But right now we just talk about what we have.
Yep. Right now, number wise, 2020 for this class, we're at 276 points on 247 site. And you add a couple more 4-stars that we're looking at. I think we got like 4 stars that we're trending for right now. That could lead you, especially with some players are going to start going up. Like especially some of the newer commits, some that haven't really hit the circuit yet. They move up. That moves you in a great spot. So 3 5-stars, 9 4-stars on 247. That jumps your number all the way up to where, like, for example, 2026 class, only team that got over let me see, over 300 was USC, and they had 35 commits. We could also get a bunch more too. Like, we could have a really big class as well. I don't think they're going to do a really big class, but like one that big. But I could see us getting over 300, which is usually the toughest. 2025, I think Notre Dame was. No, we won't do Notre Dame. Like, Georgia had 16 4-stars, 5 5-stars, and they had 300 points. Like, if we continue to add players, especially the few top 100s we're looking at,
yeah,
that number shouldn't change. But I digress. This morning we got Greydon Howell. 5'11", 174 athlete, plays quarterback. He was being recruited for 4 different positions, dog. Like, what? And I know a few schools, someone was looking at him at quarterback. He was being looked at wide receiver, which is what it looks like, of course, with this picture with EJ, wide receiver. He was being looked at as a running back. So quarterback, running back, wide receiver. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if he was being looked at on defense too. But a lot of schools want him. 4-star with Rivals right now. ESPN doesn't have him yet. 247 has him as a 3 for now. He's in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. So the OK Prep Virginia continues. We're getting some local talent, but he's fun to watch. I'm going to put his tape up, but he's fun to watch.
Kind of when you're looking at him, I mean, he's the all-purpose back, potential gimmick type of a guy. He, like you made a comment, like, people looking at running back, people looking at wide receiver. He's more of like a wildcat quarterback. I mean, you throw out some of these names and people get really excited. And I'm not saying that this is what he is, but he does have massive capabilities. But, you look at guys like Percy Harvin or Deebo Samuel, like those are guys who, may not be the best wide receivers that ever played the game, wouldn't be the best running backs to play the game, but you get guys who you can use use as tools like that. I mean, you remember the national championship game against OU, Percy Harvin was used in so many different, ways. And so another guy just continues to get more and more looks by some. And I think that as more people get out there and see him, I know that the Oklahoma area guys are going to go out there and see him, and he's going to have a little bit more shine on his name now that he's committed to Oklahoma.
Yep. And look at this. The tape on him is what's fun. Like, he can throw. Like I said, he plays quarterback. He makes me think of Terry Bussey, who went to A&M. We were looking at Bussey to come here. Legend Bay was similar as well. Uber athletic. Can do just about anything as a quarterback. But like I said, it can play running back. Can play wide receiver. Can play corner. He can be all over the place. He's talented. And it's funny because when EJ kind of gave the hint that he was coming, he posted a video of Lamar Jackson breaking through the huddles. Now, I'm not saying he's Lamar, but he's very elusive. That's what makes him so good. And his agility in open space is going to be something fun to watch. You just got to, go do it. Now, as of right now, we've got him wanting to play wide receiver. That was what my big question was. Was that the only position he wanted to play? And it appears that's where we're at. Kicking ball. So the OK Prep agenda still in effect. Again, we've got more players we're looking at. Gabe Osborne, the top 50 player in the country. You're still looking at Gus Corsair, who is also, if I'm correct, top 50. Well, he's top 100, I think. Let me verify that real quick.
I want to say he's like 160, somewhere in that area.
You're probably right. Gus is
Rivals National number 248.
Yeah,
so
302.
Top
Yeah, so top 250 with them. What's his rating with ESPN when you add them all together?
He is the number 191 national on ESPN.
There you go. And he's also not him, but you can also add Juju Johnson, who came back to town. He's also back being interested. You got
Gabe Osborne is the top.
Huh?
That's Gabe Osborne, number 37 in the nation.
Yeah, you've got a lot more top 100 players than you think. They're building a very interesting class. This is the best one that Brent Venables put together. And remember, I think it was it the 24 class that finished top 5? I think it was number 4 on ESPN's, the one with Stone and them. And if he plays baseball, Greydon may play, but God, good Lord. Crazy.
There's a lot of people not happy at Oklahoma State too, because that was somebody that they were really, really wanting.
Yeah, Oklahoma State really did want him.
Sparrow top 50.
Is high. He's top 50. And he came back and sounds like he's very excited he was happy about being here again. Just the fact that we got to go ahead and give some praise to the staff because I have a few thoughts on the way that this has been constructed, the way it's been put together. So, yeah, let's show some love. Thank y'all for pulling up. Go ahead, hit that like button if you are new to the channel. Subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. This is a combination of Brent Venables and Jim Nagy's effect. For BV making the playoffs, it's a big deal. That turned off the hot seat conversation. That turned off people saying that, Oklahoma's going to be down because he completely got out of that. That's, of course, good stuff. Where Nagy comes into play, it's funny because I've seen people post it on the socials, Coop, that, Nagy's going to be penny pinching. He's going to be looking for all the value. He's only going to be bargain bin shopping. And I pushed back on that. I told people straight up that I don't think that Jim Nagy's coming here to pinch pennies and only bargain shop. He will find bargains as well because you do have to fill out a class. You haven't seen anybody on here, or even anybody that's like won a natty within like the last, 3 years, that had a class full of all 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's not possible. It isn't. I mean, Texas A&M had that big class of 5 stars, and most of them ended up transferring out. Georgia's had a bunch. Georgia hasn't won a natty in what's this been? 3 years. They haven't won a natty. My point being, and Georgia still has top 5 classes all the time. You've got to get a mixture. You've got to hit on your 3s, your 4s, your no stars, and your 5s. So you got to mix it up. A lot of your 5 stars are expecting to play immediately or hoping to. If you notice, a lot of the 5 stars we're going after lines up right with the ability to hit the field very early. I'm actually impressed with that. It's kind of like how Sam Presti's been doing things with the Thunder, Coop. The way that he has been strategic about the players he gets, who he trades out, when he gets the pick, how he pushes the pick out, all of that stuff. Seems like Nagy and BV are doing a similar thing. That is pretty impressive. They're playing, they're manipulating the roster, the way they're picking up players based upon that. So I want to give BV and Nagy first shout outs. Molly's going to get hers too. New Molly Jacoby. Shout out to her on being the director of recruiting and putting everything together with the event. Future Freaks doesn't blow up like this without her contributions. We'll talk about her in a minute, but I had to point out how their strategy is there. You can see it if you really dig into it. Everybody thinks you got to get every single player. It doesn't make any sense. People are going to end up leaving. Retention is just as expensive as acquisition. And so you can tell there's a plan, but I want to give them their shout out for that because it looks good. I love the direction that we're going, and I'm satisfied. Probably a lot more than most fans.
I mean, when you look at some of these players that you're going after, you're getting guys that are, top 5 guys in their state, like, Cooper Hackett, number 1 in the state, Caden Penny, number 2, Cooper Witten, number 4, Seneca Driver, number 1. So, you want Crew Jones, number 3 out of Utah. They're scouring because it's not just Texas that they're going after.
Mm-mm.
We've always been really good in Cali. We've always been really good in Florida. But now you continue to add, like I said, California, Utah, Alabama. You've got guys in Mississippi with Devin Robertson, Phoenix, Arizona. That's what you got to do is you got to go find the guys. And I think that the balance of these classes is also really, really good. You got your quarterback, you've got running backs, you've got offensive linemen inside and outside, you've got wide receivers, tight ends, safeties, corners. And the staff has done a good job highlighting and pointing out, if you do want to come in here and play and you earn yourself a spot, we're going to put you on the field.
Yeah. That's why you see some of these kids. I've actually remember seeing a few of the kids say that in their articles about how they want to come to Oklahoma because they see an opportunity to play. Are they saying that they don't think the players on the roster are good? No. What they're pointing out is, and we've talked about this here numerous times, recruits pay attention to that. They notice that you've got back-to-back freshman All-Americans. They see that. They're like, oh, so you're telling me if I play well enough, you will actually put me on the field.
Yeah.
And to me, now this is a speculation piece. I don't know if Nagy and staff are doing this, but this is something that I've recognized. And I'm wondering if this is their direction. Mark, leave Coop's shirt alone, man. He just got back from being outside in the sun. He had to run through it, but I had to wear my good day shirt because it was
I love
a
that
good
one.
Day. The good day blimp because Ice Cube's a pimp. It was a great day. But back to my point. They see that because they're willing to play young players, I got a chance to get out there. And you recognize at Oklahoma when this staff is going after. Now, back to my point. They believe it. To me, what my speculatory mind or my assumption here is, when we're giving players 2 to 3 years to crack the starting lineup.
Yeah.
If you make that starting lineup, you're in a starting lineup. You'll probably end up finishing here. But after that third year, redshirt sophomore or junior year, that's when you see some of these players hit the portal. Samuel Masigo is a great example. He's played his freshman year, he played his sophomore year, and he played last season. And he wasn't going to get the starting spot over the portal guy you bring in Cole Sullivan. They saw what they had a need, and unfortunately, he was not going to start. You see that with some of the other players. Some of the wide receivers they got out there. They didn't believe they were going to get the start, unfortunately. You saw that with Jaden Hardy. Hardy was literally right behind Peyton Bowen. And I know the staff wanted to retain him, but they said, hey, if you think that you can get something better, go ahead. You have an open door to come back. They loved him. But he's at Colorado now, and he's going to start. He's going to start at Colorado easily. The way that roster was gutted.
And that's how college football runs.
Football works, man. At a certain age. Because, again, that was the thing. It's if Peyton Bowen had left, Jaden Hardy's just starting other safety. Peyton Bowen comes back, him and Eli together. That's how you lose Davon Jordan. He wasn't going to crack it. Jacoby Johnson decided he's going to stay and be part of the rotation at his size and athleticism. There's no reason to bounce. So you lucked out with him being a senior, and the staff kept wanting to keep him anyway because he's a bigger corner. But you got Cortland Guillory, who's starting, right? My assumption is they're giving them that amount of time to say, hey, here you go. If you don't crack the starting job, but you're still a rotational piece, let it keep you. But if not, feel free to find yourself a starting spot. And then we do what we need to do to take care of our starting players. You pay your Jaden Jacksons. You pay your David Stones, right? You're paying PJ Adebawore and keeping him from staying in the portal longer than 5 minutes. You're paying Danny Okoye because you want to keep him because you know what they can be. That is how it all works. But it's similar to NFL. Just the contracts are shorter, and because they know that they have a finite amount of time for them to be on the roster. Keep that in mind when you think about that. It's very much possible sooner for life. It's very possible. None of our players are bolting within their first year, really, unless they're not ready to play.
Encouraging it.
Yeah. They're playing. They're like I said, they're giving them 2 to 3 years. Players that want to be here, they're getting 2 to 3 years. They're not homesick or anything like that. They're getting 2 to 3 years. Or some players are recognizing that, I'm not cut out to be here. We have a roster full of development players. And I'll point that out in another video because I've been looking at the snap counts. But yeah, that's possible. Go ahead, Coop. My bad.
No, I was saying the same thing. It's when you saw Davon Jordan, that it's the risk of, well, let's rotate in multiple different defensive backs. I mean, we had Cortland Guillory and Eli Bowen; those guys were your starters. But you got to remember, like it was Cortland Guillory and Gentry Williams early in the year. Like that was it. Gentry goes down, Eli comes back healthy. We expected him to take some time to kind of get going, but he didn't. He kind of just hit the ground running. But you still had Davon Jordan coming in quite a bit. You still had Jacoby Johnson coming in quite a bit. And some guys are going to get those times where they're coming in. Jaden Hardy playing in, we've seen it for the past 2 years. You're rotating these guys in, and sometimes they're going to go, I feel like I could start, and I feel like I could go do this somewhere else. Now, obviously, I would rather be playing at Oklahoma than Colorado. I think Colorado is going to be on the struggle bus this year. But for a guy who wants to go to the league and wants to prove that, hey, look, I'm worth taking a look at, that's it. Kobe McKenzie, same situation. I don't think that he was going to be the starter necessarily. And he was losing more and more playing time to Owen Heineke last year. So Kobe goes and he finds himself an opportunity to highlight him, and get out and just show. You watch every single bit. I mean, if you watch the NFL Combine, you got guys from all over the place, add in the pro days. These scouts are going to find you nowadays. And so what you have to do in the NIL era is retain those starters, and you got to continue to develop the backups. If they want to leave and go play somewhere else, that's great. You need to have somebody back right there behind them and coming through. Omarion Robinson, I'm pretty sure that the staff had a chance to say, like, all right, Jaden Hardy, Omarion Robinson was a potential portal watch guy too, but he's a year younger. And you see what you have there. Hardy wants starters money. Omarion says, I want to stick around and have my opportunity. And so this year, you're going to see Omarion Robinson rotating a lot in with the safeties, and while Hardy heads out. So you kind of have to do these with these classes, and that's why we're excited about what you're seeing with Markel Ford last year, with Ross, with Scott here this year. Like, you want to get somebody coming in who's going to push, and it's going to be a competition. And I would venture to say that, is there a chance that in 4 years, both Markel Ford and Scott, stay this entire time? It's less likely than likely, but that's why you keep stacking each and every year with guys that are big time playmakers.
Exactly. And so if you get the right players, you get the ones that fit your not only philosophy, but even your entire ethos of wanting to be developed, wanting to go to the next level, wanting the opportunity for that, you got no problems. Oklahoma's done a really good job of retention for the most part.
Very.
Like, the defense, you added Cole Sullivan, who will start. Everybody else recruits. Like, just look at the roster. Offense has been a little bit more of a turnstile, but that's the game. Running backs is fine. You had to bring in some more tight ends, right? O-line recruits with an additional portal guy that you brought in. You brought in a veteran portal guy because it's young. So you mainly got recruits except for Michaela and Imarian Harris. Wide receivers, they're portal guys because your entire 2024 class got gutted. Quarterback's a portal, but you got 2 recruits to go with your 2 portal guys, and Whit Neubauer and John Mateer. But you're playing a lot of recruits, filling gaps as you need to. But that's, to me, is the one thing that also helps you in the recruiting game is you're not going to be recruiting over players. And they know this. That's the philosophy and the ethos you want to put out there. And a lot of these kids feel that about the way BV has done things. So the reason why, though, I give Nagy a lot of props with Brent Venables is this class jumping up as high as it has this early is 100% because you have Jim Nagy and his entire staff in place. Could BV and them finish with a top 5 class? Yeah, it's possible. But having them behind them to help put it all together, show the vision early, and the coaches being a focus on coaching and developing, huge. This is why you hire Jim Nagy. Like, I try to tell folks, man, you got to get this man at least 2 years to see what he's doing. He came in, end of February last year.
Yeah.
Folks are trying to figure out why in the class, last year's clap up. It didn't matter. He needed time. They went through the board. They went up and down. Go listen to any interview Jim Nagy has where he's talked about how they put things together. Them and the coaches work closely together in evaluating of players. They bring them players, ask them what they think. They work together closely. And it makes, like I said, it makes it easier to where these position coaches don't have to grind as much tape. They have an idea of the kid, and then they move forward. That is exactly what you're looking for. And then go look at the NFL guys, in which the question was around development. Look at the NFL guys. That the players that are getting looks at. R. Mason Thomas, recruit. G Baby, recruit. Jared Canick, recruit.
RSJ.
Right? Robert Spears Jennings, recruit. You hear me? Right? Like Burks was a portal guy, but he was here for 2 years. But
Fabichu here
Wewu
for
was
2
a portal
years.
guy, a young one, right? But he was here for a couple years. Like, you don't have very many one and doners in our list of players. That's huge. Like, Satania is going to be here 2 years. Mateer will be here 2 years. That's where the development comes in. Now, some people wonder why we're not going after more older players, but you got to get players that fit what you're doing, and you make them older in your system. That's what Cignetti did at Indiana. Those dudes were with him for years. And then they filled holes that they need to fill. That's the impressive piece. But overall, man, this entire staff has been killing it. That front office staff has been killing it. The evaluations are solid. And like I said, they're not done. Like, I'm hoping one pops while we're here. I'm refreshing the Bird app to see if we get something. I ain't got nothing yet. But I ain't seen nothing yet. But there's a possibility it could be another one that could pop tonight. Don't know. I'm impressed with the fact that they were able to pull this off on the weekend like that.
It's somebody in the Discord had asked, like, is this best recruiting weekend ever? I think for the immediate payoff, I don't remember, and I've been following recruiting for longer than I'd like to say. Back in the Jeremy Crabtree, days way back when. But I think immediately, like, as far as like the number of recruits to commit, usually we'll get like 1 or 2 and then it'll drag out. Like, to get 5 in the matter of a day and a half or whatever. And then again, I think Gus Corsera is going to continue to take his visits. He's going to take a few more. I think he is 100% a lean into Oklahoma. I think Gabe is probably going to pull the trigger here very soon. Sparrow has a lot of peer recruiting going his way. So there are so many more. Then you got guys like, is it Miles Smith? I think is the edge guy that came in.
Yeah.
And, he's another top 150 guy that I think that if he had to pull today, he would be a Sooner. You got to get him back in the summer to finish it off. But you're going to see several things. I think hearing a lot of really, really good stuff about Wyatt Gilmore. Anytime that you can go get a guy who's part of that power line, from a couple years ago with Nigel and Danny. And he's been a little bit of a forgotten guy, but starting to hear he is the next Taylor Wine. You get guys like that who are going to come in and start popping this year. Trent Wilson, same situation. He comes in. You're going to see the more and more, because you can point towards David Stone and say, well, of course he is going to be a big time player. Like, he was a 5-star, he was best in the state, and everybody under the sun wanted him. But it's when you get guys like Taylor Wine, who nobody really knew about, and you get guys like Wyatt Gilmore, who was not very heralded, and then they come in and they start producing, you have that conversation of, okay, now, Mr. Top 150 defensive end, how much more can you do? And I think that you'll see Jake Krell. Jake Krell is another one who has a big opportunity to crack and play some time this year, maybe in a specialist role or whatnot. But the momentum, and I think I saw it in the chat here, the momentum on the defensive side, like, we don't need to talk about that anymore. The offensive side, we've had so many different offensive coordinators, and there has been a lot of turnover at the OC spot. You've had Emmett Jones for a long time. You replaced running backs coach. You replaced the tight ends coach. You've had a lot of different guys. So building relationships and things like that, we'll start to see some more, some more, production this year, and then you just hope that it continues just like the defense, because I still remember that first year, that 6 and 7 year in the Big 12, and it was just And yeah, Nigel Smith's been inside for 2 years now. I mean, he moved inside last year, and he is one that's going to be in the rotation.
Yep. Exactly. Now, Oklahoma did not have the number 1 class with Caleb Williams signed. That class finished at number 6. But it was up there pretty high. That was a 2021 class.
Maybe the last number 1 class might have been Bomar's class.
I think it was Bomar. I think you might be right.
Bomar and Peterson. Yeah. Sooner Cowboys, no more 6 and 7 seasons. I don't see that happening. I think that on one side of the ball, you are way too strong. But, I would also say that the second 6 and 7 season had a lot to do with the whole damn team being injured.
Yeah, and replacing a bunch of people, and
and the quarterback just not ever getting it.
You just, some decisions were made, and you live with them. You live, you learn, and then you get loves. The most important thing, like there was a question in here. I want to come in here. There's been a lot of questions. I appreciate y'all jumping in here. Nigel Smith did move inside. He actually moved. Like Coop said, he moved inside last year. Gus Corsair would be nice to get very soon. Brian Swanson did not make it. He said that he didn't make it, but he's working on getting back here sometime in the summer. We'll see. Yeah. If you get Corsair, I don't know if you grab Swanson. That would be 6 offensive linemen in that class. That's a lot. I feel like you would end up deciding to just portal somebody instead, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? We'll grab a portal veteran or something. I think 5 feels like the most I would want to do on the offensive line. But hey, like I said, they may have a different plan. They may have a thought process on what they're going to do with that. So, development. How many of the Heisman finalists came from the portal this past Heisman? Let's look. 2026, 2025. Trophy votes. Let me go pull up this one. I like this one. I like this question. How many of them? So, Mendoza and Pavia were both portals. Jeremiah Love was not. Sayin was a portal. I don't think Jacob Rodriguez was a portal. He was 5th. Yes, he was a portal. He portaled from Virginia. Jeremiah Smith was not. Gunnar Stockton was not. Trinidad Chambliss was. Caleb Downs was a portal. And Haynes King was a portal. So out of the 10 players, 2 were not portals. 3 were not portals. Stockton, Love, and Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of a mix. I think it was George Stoya was talking about the usage rates and like Mateer's usage rate versus Mendoza, and it was completely. I mean, Mendoza was not dependent upon. They had a good running game. They had a lot of obviously help on the defense side too. But I want to say that Mateer's usage rate was somewhere in the high 60s. And then production and everything like that. So I mean, Mendoza, I think Indiana could have probably had a handful of different quarterbacks and won the national championship this year. Mm-hmm. But when you look at guys who have kind of moved around, I don't know. I don't know if the portal is a very indicative when it thing when it comes to Heisman, because that's more your whole team has to do well, and so it's having a good collection of everything. Because I mean, you can look at the quarterback from USC. I mean, he had the entire room on his, the team on his shoulders, not in the top because the win-loss record wasn't good enough. You got to have those. Dante Moore, another portal guy, if you can count that, because I mean, some of those guys didn't. Dante Moore didn't really play, anything too competitive when he was as a freshman at UCLA. But yeah, I don't know. I think that you also got to remember John Mateer. I mean, he was before he got hurt. He was the leader in the clubhouse.
Let's even add to that, though, right? The beauty of this class being where it's at today is that if you notice something about the way that this staff has done when it comes to recruiting, they don't have a bunch of decommits. Roughly 4 per class or less. I remember Michigan was number 1. Notre Dame was number 1 at one point for a while. And then you started seeing kids decommit and decommit and decommit. You saw that with Tech one time. They were getting a whole bunch of players and they started decommitting and decommitting. The one thing this staff is telling them is don't commit until you're ready.
Yeah.
You're going to go visits, do your visits. But if you're ready to lock in, lock in. You're going to have some players that are going to go a little rogue and end up going to go do a little visit here and there with teammates. They usually get that cleared. But that's the one thing to remember. They do a really good job of making sure when they get players, they don't hit the portal. I mean, they don't decommit. They commit when they're ready to commit. And Jeff, yeah, that's actually the big thing. And on this one question from before, yeah, most likely they're gonna cancel a lot of those visits. That's usually what happens. And Les, I saw this earlier. We'll probably take 2 more. I feel like 6 is a lot, Coop. But we might do 6. I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, these guys are coming here to play. So if you take 6, they're not all going to be here in 3 years. Just throwing that out. I mean, you're going to need more depth. Like that's 100%. But you also know that, I mean, guys like Hackett and Penny, I think that Luke Wilson's got the great frame for it. We'll see, what kind of year he has this year. Same thing with Ross. Corsair is a guy that I talked to. I think that he's got some versatility on the inside. But that's a hard thing. I mean, the year with Fasusi and Foje, I mean, you got to remember, we were in on several other 5-star guys up to the end, guys like Ty Haywood, and who's the kid up in Michigan?
You're talking about he just portal, didn't he?
I think he stayed. But anyway, the point is that's a hard thing. Number one, they're wanting 5-star money, high 4-star money, guys like that. You get
he was a freshman this year. He got hurt. Babalola,
yeah.
Yeah, Babalola. He just got hurt, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to have it's too late, Stevie. Missed it by that much. But
yep.
You got Fasusi, Foje, EPL, Ozaida, like all those guys are going to be either in their last year or maybe one of the last 2 years by the time these guys show up on campus. I pretty much would rather them have some a year under their belt in college than throwing out freshmen again here in 2 years. So let's hope that Bricks was another guy that we were Grant Bricks we were in on, and he ended up choosing Nebraska if I remember correctly. But yeah, we got a lot of guys that are going to come in. I personally think that Caden Penny probably more ready to play on the offensive line if he had to year one than Hackett. But again, I'd rather them
play as freshman. Yeah,
I'd rather them play behind Fasusi, Foje, and whoever else is playing at that point.
Me too. And that's going to be the goal. That's what we're going to be doing. We'll be able to line them up so as soon as we hit as soon as this they're either red shirt freshman year, like I said, getting their weight up, they'll be ready to play. Jeremy, you asked about Case Alexander. I think he's going to Penn State with his brother. I don't expect him to come here at all. I expect him at Penn State.
We'll see if anything changes on that one, but you get out there and you get a good start to the season, and you're going to have some flip capabilities and some flip opportunities. But I also think that staff, the recruiting staff and the coaching staff all together, those guys want people who are willing to make the choice now, and they're going to reward you for wanting to be here now and starting that, starting your program and saying, well, what are you doing at school? Like, this is what we want you to be doing. Having Coach Beatonbow, I mean, all these coaches are talking to these guys pretty consistently. And, do you take a commitment from a guy, this month or June, and then have somebody say, well, I kind of changed my mind. I kind of want to go back the other way. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I would love to have a Case Alexander. I really would.
Yep. It'll be nice to have. I mean, you got Seneca Driver. You also got Van Dorselaer, Trinae Washington, Ruxer, and Ryder Mix. You got 5 dudes at about the redshirt freshman to freshman status. You got that. So to me, I think we're at a good spot. But Sooner Cowboy, I love that you pointed this out, because we'll wrap up with this. We got so many things to talk about, but we're not going to be able to go for 2 hours. I got to get ready to pack the last of my suitcase. But you think that Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Michigan will be better, Texas A&M, and Texas. I think Texas offense will be about the same. A&M's won't be better. They lost like 4 offensive linemen. And they still got Marcel Reed. They lost one of their top. They lost KC Concepcion. I mean, Craver's still good. I love Terry Bussey, one of my favorites. But they're not going to be better. Michigan's got new coaching staff. And you know how BV does when it comes to sophomore quarterbacks, right? Freshmen and sophomores, he cooks. Mississippi State, is Kamario Taylor going to play next season? Remember, he got hurt in that bowl game at the end. I'm a little nervous on that. Florida's got a new staff. Ole Miss got a new staff. And Ole Miss, they don't even know if Trinidad Chambers is going to play, because the NCAA just countersued, and there's a good chance that they may pause that as they're going through litigation again. That being said, I don't think any of those defenses are going to be that much better. I think that a lot of snaps are lost, and we should be good to go as far as being competitive again like we were last year. Like, the 2 games I'm looking at is Texas and UGA. Texas will be every year because it's a rivalry game again. If we beat them, we beat them. We don't. It's a rivalry game. It rarely has a rhyme or reason. For us, it's been lucky that we've had injuries 3 of the last 4 years. Just great. Perfect luck.
Mississippi State still, how many conference wins do they have over the past 2 years?
Yeah, I don't know about Mississippi State.
1 or 0, like somewhere in that one. So yeah, I think that Florida, you talk to a lot of Florida people and they think it's the same thing. Billy Napier 2.0.
Yeah, it's Sunbelt Billy. Now, I think that I do like. I'm a fan of Summerall. I still got to see it.
Yeah.
Happen first with him. Not year 2. I think I have a better feeling on him after year 1. And if they don't do all that great year 1, I'd still probably have a good feeling on him going into year 2. Because I think he's a really good coach. He also can recruit in Louisiana very well. Those Tulane teams were very competitive. The big thing for them is just getting all the talent together and executing year 1. It's going to be tough. Going to the Swamp's going to be hard, but we're coming in with a lot of continuity. I think that that's the thing that made us so good last year, too. So much continuity.
Yeah.
Not much turnover. BV adding in staff, like Lamar Morgan was a defensive coordinator, similar to Brandon Hall was, Nate Dreiling was, Wes Goodwin was. You bring in a whole bunch of dudes with the experience you need to be successful. The turnover is not bad. Offense, we just got to get Buckle going. And first year in the SEC, it takes time. He also played some of the best defenses in conference. That's it.
I will.
But Trinae Washington, I love this. Being up 270 is exactly what I'm hoping for.
Very much.
Buddy, I'm sold on him. I'm hoping that Witten can turn him into something special. All right, Coop, what you got left in your tank? It's been a day.
Sooner Cowboys, you keep thumping, buddy. Hey, we've talked about the Diamond Sports. The Diamond Sports are just rolling, but guys, Texas, the OU men's basketball team last night, they tried to piss that game away, and then in OT, we went crazy. So I think we got South Carolina and then A&M. So we beat South Carolina on Wednesday, get A&M as the next game.
Mm-hmm.
We made the tournament last year with about the same record, and you've won 4 in a row. Let's see. Now, I think that, hey, we're making the tournament, like, let's get excited. I think that's horseshit because, I mean, it's a participation trophy when it comes time to that. But I fully expect, expect them to make the tournament at this point just because everybody wants Porter gone. But they got to go out and do this. They've played very, very well with nothing to lose. And so now that they got something to gain, we'll see what happens. But everything is looking really good. You had the gymnastics teams balled out, the Diamond Sports balled out. You had the Future Freaks event was obviously phenomenal. I mean, there's a lot of positivity in Norman right now, and it's good time to be a Sooner. But what do we practice starts? Spring practice is at the 21st. When is 9?
Yeah,
20th. 16th. Is it 16th?
Yeah.
16th, something like that. Whatever. Spring practice starts here in the next 2 weeks. If you
so much fun.
If you haven't checked, I believe that there's baseball and softball that evening. I think they moved the softball game to the evening game. I think you buy standing room only tickets. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity on April 18th to go support the Sooners and a couple different sports. But yeah, man, Jay, just stay tuned. I mean, like I said, I think we could probably see a commitment tonight.
Let's go.
I want to see another one here soon. The later we get, the more likely I think it's going to be in the next couple of days. But what you wanted was this staff to continue to point towards the proof of concept, like leverage the relationships, show. I mean, when you added Jason Witten, who is going to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer, and you go and you get Dalen McCullough, who just is putting the number 1 running back in the draft this year and the number 2. Like, we all remember what it was like when Samaje and Joe Mixon were, hitting the draft, and Samaje didn't get drafted as highly. So we'll see. And Pro Day coming up, John Mateer going to be throwing the ball.
Yep.
So I guess Jaron Kanik and Keontae Lewis.
Yeah.
And Deion Burks. Yeah.
That's your 3 that really need to catch. So it's going to be a good time. All right.
Yeah.
We're out there. We'll be back probably Thursday. It's going to be the best for me. And then I'm gone for 1 more week. And final spring break with my senior child. And then after that, spring practices, baby. We're on it. So thank y'all for pulling up, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, rate, review. Give us 5 stars. We will see all of you next couple days. Peace.